You are doing it right now, breathing, blinking, letting your eyes drift slightly left before you consciously decide to. Your heart is beating without your permission. Your pupils are adjusting to the light in this room without a single conscious thought from you. And here is the strange part. None of that is you. Not really. Your body is running software that was written long before you existed, long before your grandparents existed, long before the first human being ever looked up at the sky and wondered what the stars were. The code running your body right now was compiled in an era so distant that the continent you are standing on did not yet have its current shape. And it has not been updated since. Think about that for a moment. Your phone gets a software update roughly every few weeks. Your body has not received a meaningful update in approximately 200,000 years. Some of the subroutines buried deepest in your biology are closer to 500 million years old. You are not a modern person walking around in a modern world. You are an ancient machine that learned to wear modern clothes. The scientist David Geary at the University of Missouri calls this the mismatch problem. The idea is straightforward. Evolution is extraordinarily slow. Culture is extraordinarily fast. And the gap between those two speeds is where almost every unexplained thing about your behavior lives. Your cravings, your fears, your instincts, your irrational reactions. None of them are glitches. They are features. Features built for a world that no longer exists. Start with something you do every single day. Eating. When you sit down to a meal, you do not eat until you are satisfied. You eat until you are full. There is a difference. Satisfied means you have enough. Full means you cannot fit any more. Why do you push past satisfied every time? Because your ancient software does not know when the next meal is coming. For the vast majority of human history, food was not guaranteed. A successful hunt might not happen again for days. The fruit on the tree would be gone by tomorrow. Your brain evolved a simple rule. When food is available, consume as much as possible. Store the excess as fat. Survive the gap. That rule saved your ancestors 10,000 times over. Today, in a world where food is available at every hour in every direction, that same rule is quietly destroying the health of millions of people. The software is not broken. It is just running in the wrong environment. Researcher Stefan Guyenet, a neuroscientist who spent years studying obesity and the brain, describes the reward circuits that drive overeating as ancient systems, designed to motivate the pursuit of calorie-dense foods, salt, fat, sugar. These were rare and precious in the ancestral environment. Your brain lights up when it detects them the same way it would light up detecting a threat. The urgency is the same. The drive is the same. Your brain cannot tell the difference between finding a wild honeycomb after weeks of searching and opening a bag of candy in your kitchen. The software fires the same signal. Consume. Now. Before it is gone. Now think about your eyes. You are reading this, and somewhere in your peripheral vision, something just moved. Maybe a shadow, maybe a curtain shifting. And before you made a conscious decision to look, your eyes were already moving toward it. That happened in under 200 milliseconds. Faster than conscious thought. Faster than language. Why? Because in the environment your brain was built for, the thing that moved in your peripheral vision was very often something that wanted to eat you. The predator detection system in your visual cortex is one of the oldest pieces of software in your entire body. It predates mammals. It predates the human brain structure as you know it. Neuroscientist Joseph Ledoux at New York University spent decades mapping the fear circuitry of the brain and found that the amygdala, the small almond-shaped cluster of neurons deep in your brain, processes threat signals before the conscious brain even receives the information. You feel fear before you know what you are afraid of. That is not an accident. That is a design decision made by evolution 400 million years ago. Hesitate and you are dead. React first, ask questions later. This is why horror movies work. This is why you jump at a loud noise in a silent room. This is why your heart rate spikes when you read about a dangerous situation even though you are perfectly safe. Your amygdala does not know you are sitting in a comfortable chair. It only knows that the pattern it just detected matches the pattern of a threat. The response fires. Every time. Automatically. And then there is the social software. The part of you that monitors every room you walk into. The part that reads faces before you have exchanged a single word. The part that tracks who has status and who does not, who is allied with whom, who is looking at you and why. You do this constantly. You cannot stop doing it. Even when you are alone, you are running social simulations in your head. Imagining conversations, rehearsing arguments, replaying moments from 3 years ago. Why are you doing that when you are completely alone? Because for your ancestors, being alone was the most dangerous state possible. A human being separated from the group was a human being who was going to die. The social brain did not evolve to help you enjoy parties. It evolved to keep you embedded in a network of other humans who would share food with you, warn you about predators, and help you raise your children. Social rejection was not an embarrassment. It was a death sentence. And so, your brain treats it like one. Psychologist Naomi Eisenberger at UCLA ran a now-famous experiment using a simple computer game. Participants played a virtual ball-tossing game with what they believed were 2 other players. Midway through, the other players stopped passing the ball to the participant. They were excluded, frozen out. And when Eisenberger scanned the brains of the excluded participants, she found something remarkable. The same regions of the brain that process physical pain lit up in response to social exclusion. Your brain does not distinguish between being hit and being ignored. The pain is registered in the same place. Because to your ancient software, they are the same category of threat. Damage to the body, damage to the group. Both could kill you. Both get the same alarm. This is why being left out of a group chat hurts in a way that feels disproportionate. This is why public embarrassment can feel physically nauseating. This is why rejection can trigger the same physiological stress response as a physical injury. You are not being oversensitive. You are running software that was calibrated for a world where these things had life or death consequences. Go deeper. Look at your sleep. You do not fall asleep all at once. You cycle through stages. You surface briefly several times each night. In a modern bed, in a locked room, in a safe home, this seems unnecessary. It is. For you. But for your ancestors sleeping in open environments with real predators circling the edges of the firelight, surfacing regularly to scan for threats, was the difference between waking up and not waking up. Your brain still does it. Every night. Without asking you. And your dreams. The dominant theory, advanced by neuroscientist Antti Revonsuo at the University of Turku in Finland, is called the threat simulation theory. It proposes that dreaming evolved as a kind of rehearsal system, a simulation environment where the brain could practice responding to threats without real-world consequences. You dream about being chased. You dream about falling. You dream about showing up somewhere unprepared. You dream about losing people you love. These are not random. They are training scenarios. Your ancient software running drills while the body is still. Here is what makes all of this so strange. You know this. On some level, you have always known that your instincts do not quite fit your life. You know that your craving for sugar is not serving you. You know that your anxiety about social judgment is out of proportion. You know that the fear you feel watching a scary movie is not real. And yet knowing does not stop any of it. Because the software does not run through your rational mind. It runs underneath it. Faster than thought. Older than language. It was never designed to be questioned. It was designed to keep you alive. The philosopher and cognitive scientist Daniel Dennett once described the human brain as a machine that evolution built to do one thing and one thing only: not to think clearly, not to be happy, not to understand the universe, to survive long enough to reproduce. Every other capacity your brain has, including the capacity you are using right now to read these words and evaluate this idea, is a side effect of that original mandate. You are the most sophisticated organism that has ever existed on this planet, and you are running on code that was written for a completely different world. Every anxiety that seems irrational, every craving that makes no logical sense, every social fear that fires when there is no real danger. Every night you lie awake rehearsing conversations that will never happen. That is not weakness. That is not failure. That is ancient software doing exactly what it was built to do. The world changed. The software did not. And right now, without thinking about it, your heart is still beating without your permission.